and we'll get started. All right, so welcome again. Welcome everybody listening now or on the replay. My name is Simone Nopel, and I am here with my soul sisters that we have been actually co-living together in this magical, beautiful city here in Portugal. And we are here to share our truth, to share our hearts on what our vision of a freedom lifestyle is and how we're also different. Like our visions are different, yet we've come together under the same love and the same vision of what is to come for us. And so we're going to be sharing about like our process from this past week being here in Portugal, and we're going to be sharing like the personal, deep changes and transformations that we've undergone, and all in the name of frequency, all in the name of community and collaboration. Like we're here making this magic together, and we want you to be a part of that. So I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to let my divine, lovely sis Oriana anchor us in and begin this little journey that we're about to go on.
Beautiful. Thank you, Simone. I want to start calling you Simone Akasha. When you introduced yourself, I was like, girl, I'm going to bring your middle name out because, yes, sis has a very, very powerful name. And yeah, we were all really able to step and really ground into our magic this week. We've all really come out of an alchemical portal, and it's amazing that this journey has kind of culminated here this day under full moon, which is this beautiful representation of peak creativity and the season of the summer, the element of the fire, the majesty of the magnetic mother as this powerful manifestation house. And today our moon is in Sagittarius. So the archetype of the adventurer and the explorer and the pioneer in the moon, in the emotional. So we're meeting in the energy of those that are motivated to find or discover the secrets to the meaning of life. I don't know, that's kind of how I feel the energy of this beautiful day with this full Sagittarius moon. And these pillars, these themes under today's energy is adventurous, freedom loving, and open-minded. And I thought how perfect that today and the alignment of what's happening above us in the sky is so perfectly fitting for all of the themes that we're weaving and that we're diving into today. And yeah, I just want to share, like we all will, go around and share a few takeaways and a few jewels of what has really crystallized and what we're anchoring in together, coming out of a really, really powerful week. So I can speak for my own personal journey, coming into this space, into the unknown, making this kind of jump into this portal that is Portugal, that is this week, without knowing anyone, like coming by myself, like many of us did, and doing inner work in my own alignment, in my own understanding of how I can be a new earth leader. How can I align myself to the earth grid template? So the new operating system of the earth, because we can see old systems that are no longer coherent, that are no longer compatible, that are no longer keeping people's attention, that we're no longer interested in, and that people are exiting with great rapidity to seek something different, to seek alternative solutions. And that obviously takes courage, and that is a big leap. But the more that we do that, and the more that we shed old layers, we discover that our vibe attracts our tribe, right? So when we're moving through with coherence and with alignment. And yes, it's a never-ending journey. But what I wanted to share is just a discovery that really kind of landed for me this week, kind of bridging the internal path that I'm walking of how do I find that embodiment as a beacon and as a way shower of the new earth. Well, what I've realized is that the earth is already she's already moving. She's an entity of her own. She's a big, beautiful being of our own that chose to incarnate many billions of years ago as our earthly mother, as our planet. And she has come to a point in her lifetime where she's actually on her ascension path and she's shifting. So it's moving away from like intellectually knowing this to feeling it. And that landing really for me, that really, really landed this week. So I discovered that I no longer need to try or struggle to align myself with that, because that is already the new standard. So the old operating system that all of the old systems are built on top of no longer exists. So it's only a matter of time before everyone else that is wanting to, or not wanting, or whatever it is, to shift into sovereignty and into freedom and into being radically accountable and responsible for the way our life and our divine mission plays out here on the earth is already here. And I also wanted to just share that that's a given. It doesn't mean that we won't see challenges. It doesn't mean that we won't see darkness also trying to, give it its last squeeze and give it its last, fight, because I do believe that we can expect the darkest before the dawn, really. The dawning of the new golden age for humanity is still ahead of us. And that darkness and it's the darkness of the birth canal. And with all of the intensity that we might experience as we make this transition, and as humanity as a collective makes this transition, God knows what that's going to look like. We're already feeling it. But I will be returning to the purity and the essence of what really, really, really landed in my body, being around soul-led leaders, being around heart-centered soul seekers, free thinkers, and visionaries that share common values and the liberty to express their own unique soul gifts in a very, very sacred and safe way. So I wanted to just share that. And yeah, I'm really, really excited to be wing, really excited to have incarnated when I did. And it's a pleasure and a joy to be sharing this with you all.
Thank you, Ariana. Yeah, I think a lot of us can feel that, right? Like for me personally, your share really resonates because I do feel that shift happening for the collective. So thank you for sharing your personal take on that. And I'm going to pass the mic to Ina. You want to share your experiences from this past week?
Yes. So hello, everyone. First of all, my name is Ina. I'm so happy that you are all here. Truly, there is a very special reason that you are here and that you are in the space here. And for me, it's important, like, of course, I want to share with you, but I also want to hear from you. Like, did you ever feel that there was something more? That there was something more in life, in maybe community, in finances, where you just felt that something was not completely right, but you felt that there was something else that was. I'm curious to know if you have that, if you ever felt that way, that you just intuitively knew there is something more, whatever that might be. Maybe you can like type a 1 in the comments. And I have like forever felt that way. Like my soul knew there is more. And I'm pregnant right now. I'm 8 months. And when I came, like, pregnancy actually was in the beginning very dark for me, because I knew I had to become a different person. Not only had I, like, I needed to hold myself, but I had to hold like a whole family, also like financially and energetically, whatever that meant. I needed to expand. And my deepest desire was to move, or is to move my family abroad and to live freely. Actually, I feel really bad living when I have to struggle, because I just know that this is not in alignment for me. Like everyone, like when you're like working 9 to 5 or whatever, even if you're like an entrepreneur and you're like just burning out, something is not right. Something feels off. And that something is because your soul didn't fully drop into your body yet. So what happened for me at the retreat is like everything that I knew was possible, I saw it with my eyes and I felt it with my hands, and I saw the people, and they were finally there. They were finally there. Even in our house, I saw, for example, Simone homeschooling her baby. I saw people stepping into their power, and I saw the power of community. I've always felt that way. And maybe you know, or maybe you don't know, but we are connected through this device here. This is a device, a frequency device that aligns your inner frequency, but it also brings you together in a community and in a quote unquote business model. But the business is actually human form to bring this new earth to life, because we need structures to do something. And for me, what are like the three most important pillars is like financially, we cannot be healthy when we're not financially free. And then community, to feel people, to see people, to be supported by your tribe is so important. Many of us, and again, maybe type 2 in the comments if you felt alone in your journey. And then the third, I forgot the third. I mean, anyways, I think like the business part, like financially, community, and I think that's the most important part. So I wanted to share with you that if you are here, you are a leader and you are meant to do something here. You have this human form, you have this body, and you're meant to do something. And you are invited into a web. When the bees go to the nectar, know where the nectar is, they don't question it. They make an infinity dance and they show other people where it is. And I feel I found the nectar, and I'm like, there is the fucking nectar. And I just started dancing without thinking anymore. And I'm just here to tell you that something great is happening. And if you feel the call, it's because there is something here. And yeah, I think that is my share. I felt such a big change, even like financially, energetically. I feel at home. Like my whole body is full. Like the distortions of, can I do it? La 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 la. How should I do it? They are just gone. And this is the power of community and frequency, I feel. So yeah, thank you so much.
Ina, thank you. Yeah, I feel like, whew, like I after that share, I feel like shake it out. You guys need to shake it out. Sometimes when these transmissions are powerful, it's gotta fucking shake. And yeah, I mean, that's what we're here for. Like each of us here, Ina, me, Yunya, Oriana, Azenia, we were all like, we didn't know each other before we came together in Portugal. And it's like, we are creating beauty together because that's one of the pillars I think we all have is community. And, you know, we don't want to like keep this hidden, like, oh, like this is our thing, like me, like, no, like we are here with open hearts and open arms for anybody who feels called to this space, and just to join us and hand in hand, heart in heart. So thank you for your share. And General Yunya, passing the baton to you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yay. So my name is Yunya, and before I start speaking, I want to invite you to place your hands on your heart. If you're in the car right now, or if you're watching or you're listening to the replay and you're in the car, please don't do this. Just place your hands on your heart and take a deep, deep breath in. And breathe out. And feel your heart. So I don't know about you, but my heart is pounding really loud right now because I have the microphone and I'm speaking in front of people. And it's not an easy thing for me to do, but I'm doing it. And this is the beauty of community co-regulation. If you're in a place where you enter a room, and before you enter the room, you were really like, okay, I need to get my things. Where are my keys? I need to get my purse. I need to get this. Oh my God, I'm going to be late. And then you enter this room and your whole system exhales. Like, and this is how I felt on day one. I think it was day one. So we had this big round tent where the stage was, and we had round tables, and it was quite a tight program, like from in the morning 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. And I entered this tent and I could feel how my whole system exhaled. And I thought, wow, I'm in the right place. Because I feel like when you enter a space where your system comes into a state of relaxation, there must be something there. And so I don't know about you, but for me, for many years, actually since I started going to work, you know, I finished university and then I became an editor working in media, you know, very busy typing my articles, doing the research, doing the interviews, and I'm good at it. You know, I'm really good at it. But there were always parts inside of me that didn't show up, that were hidden. And I kept them hidden for sure, but I didn't feel like they are invited to be present, to express themselves, you know? And so here I was in this, you could call it a business conference. Obviously, it was like a business conference, but it really didn't feel at all like one. It felt more like a, yeah, like a soul activation, or like an inner work retreat. Let's call it this way. And yeah, Oriana writes frequency festival. Yeah, exactly. And I could feel how these parts in myself were like invited to come out. And I could see all these almost 300 people in the tent. And as the others already said, we are different because each of us is different. We are unique people. We are unique souls in this flesh form. And we all have things to give, to share, to express, and to expand. This is our natural state. And, you know, I was doing good in my job. It's not like I didn't like it. I liked it. But I was not exhaling in my environment, in my working environment. I was exhaling when I escaped, like on weekends or, you know, on vacations. And I always wonder, cannot there be a place or a business model or a whatever, however you want to call it, where I can fully be myself, like also the parts of myself, my weird parts, like the part who likes to ask tarot cards for guidance, or the part who I don't know, likes ecstatic dance, or who is a bit woo-woo, or you know, all these different parts, and my artistic parts. Why cannot they also be in the room? And they were there, and I could feel that I'm in the right place. And so this is Healy, obviously. I guess you already know about it if you're here. And this little frequency device has done a lot for me already, in the sense that I found my tribe. And in these 4 days, I found my tribe. And 4 of them are here on this panel. Let's see what else I want to share with you. It was just incredible. And I cannot wait to speak more in front of people. I cannot wait to express myself more and more and more, to expand more on an emotional level, on a financial level, because this is also the beauty of this model, of this group, of this frequency family group. And there was one thing that I heard in the retreat, like there are other different network marketing models and network marketing companies. Honestly, I've never heard of network marketing before I said yes to Healy, which was 3 months ago. So exactly 3 months ago. And 1 week after I had my Healy, I said yes to this retreat. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but there was this yes, yes, yes. And so I followed this yes. And you know, I was at this retreat that the closing ceremony was a cacao ceremony. And you know, I said to my partner 1 year ago, oh, you know what? I would really love to attend a cacao ceremony. I've never been before. So I live here in Berlin, and there are a lot of cacao ceremonies if I want to, but I never really felt the pull to go to one. And here I was in Portugal with these amazing soul-based leaders, immersed in this cacao ceremony, where I drank my intuition, you know, very crazy things happened. And I thought, damn, I manifested this. I brought this into my life because I said yes, even though it didn't make any sense. And I feel like if we follow these breadcrumbs or these whispers, a lot of magical things can happen. So I'm so happy to, to be with you, to be sharing this, and I guess I'm done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Inya, for sharing. And everybody, she's been talking about this exhale. So let's take a collective breath and fill into this deep exhale together. Okay, so breathe in through your nose. And let it out with a sigh. Like, there's nothing better than a regulated nervous system, you guys. Like, nothing else can flow with ease if your nervous system isn't regulated. So thank you for that. And I think it was like a unanimous knowing that everybody in the tent experienced that co-regulation that we've been hitting on. I think it's really beautiful. So thank you for your words. and your wisdom. And now I'm going to pass the mic to Azenia, Mama.
Hi. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And I can relate to all the shares that have been already offered in this space. And we are really here to support everyone rising together and to really bring out the best in everyone. And I can really say that, yeah, the power of the yes, like the ripple effects, we don't really know, but when we follow our intuition and can feel that embodied yes with not having the logical knowing of how it's all going to unfold is so powerful. Woo, I'm getting goosebumps now because we really got to hear in this retreat what power there is behind that, and what we witnessed and what I'm even experiencing within this small group. Like, there were 11 of us sharing a house and none of us knew each other. We're not from the same lineage. We all came from different parts of the world and said, yes, let's share a place together. And you know what's so special, and it is a reflection of our community, is it just flowed. It just naturally flowed. We all got together and it was harmonious. It was empowering. It was inspiring. We had pregnant mama and little kids and my children and a sweet gentleman partner that was with us. And it was a safe place. It was a healthy place, and it was a place where I think lifelong connections were built. And I would say I have a couple of big takeaways. One was the yes, like just how powerful saying that yes to yourself, to an offering, can be for the trajectory of your life. And the other thing, as an empath, I'm a physical and emotional empath. I'm a medical intuitive. It sometimes is tricky for me to be in social situations. And what I really experienced from the first meet and greet of the event to the first night where we were all welcomed, normally I kind of hover on the peripheral of events. Like I'm there, I'm holding space, I'm taking it in, I'm loving it up. But this time, what was different for me is that the conversations flowed. There were these super sweet synchronicities, and it's just so telling of the beauty and uniqueness of our community. And as I said, we are all from different lineages, and we're just here to support each other and help everyone rise up. And as Oriana explained so beautifully, that right now on the planet, we are needed and our communities are needed. Everyone is needed right now to really rise up in their own uniqueness, in their own sweet frequency of their original blueprint. And that's what I feel the part of the magic that this and the science that this device offers is that we get to return to our original blueprint, which is needed at this time, in this timeline on the planet, to blossom into this next echelon of beingness. So we need you, we need all of you, and we need our communities to gather and be in our full power and, really allow for our true desires to be experienced, like sitting in. Well, one thing that I took away from, if you are familiar with Regan Healy, she's one of the speakers that spoke, and, we can have our vision and our dream. And what she asked us to do is do the next vision and the next dream, expand even further. So what is that further like beyond the beyond dream that you can imagine, and imagine it and feel into it, and how it alivens every cell of your body, and that sense, that felt sense, hold that in the now. And so that was a huge takeaway from this retreat. And that's what we're here for, is to help ourselves, help our families, help our communities, and our even broader communities to rise up into all that we are and all that we desire. And I'm just so blessed to have met these beautiful humans from all speckles across the world. We're missing a couple tonight. And so I'm calling them in and feeling into them, Samantha and Onyx and Simone's partner, and you are here with us in our greater community of the Freedom Frequency. Thank you for all that has been offered. And with that, blessings to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that share. I think something that's really powerful that you're sharing about lifting each other up and lifting our communities up, that I want everybody who's joining us today or listening on a replay at a later time to understand, is that if you were invited to this space, or if you said yes to this space, that's because you are loved. Like, we are bringing this energy of empowerment, but it's rooted in love. And one of the beautiful things that, actually, it was like the first time of probably 20 times I cried during the retreat, but the first time that it broke me open was during one of our wealth activation speakers. And she was basically saying, like, who in your life do you want to lift up? Who in your life could you envision being here in this space with you now, and then in the next one, and the next one, and the next one? And it really just broke me open, because I have such a heart of service. And if you're on this call, if you're on this panel, like, you also have this like push or pull of service. And when I think of the people in my life that I love that were not with me, I was like, man, like I want my people here, you know? And then of course you guys are my people, the people who I met in the house, the people who were at the retreat, but also like we have our people, right? Like, whether you're here talking on this panel right now or you're listening, you have your own people, right? And to say that we are extending our hands out to them and lifting them up with us, like, it's just so beautiful. And I want that for everyone, not just my loved ones. I want that for everyone, the collective. I am so here for that. So thank you, Azimia, for like really anchoring us into that. I think that's a huge piece of why we're here, why we continue to show up and put our time and energy into creating these types of spaces. So thank you for all of that. And there's a few things that I want to share about my experience. And a few people have mentioned my husband and my 3-year-old son. They were here with me. They kind of came in and out of the vortex, like they would be present sometimes and kind of would go do their own thing. But the one thing that like embedded now in my DNA was this familial experience that we had together, and the downloads that I received and that my 3-year-old son received and my husband received, like us together, breaking these cycles and these generational patterns that have been rooted in both sides of my lineage, my maternal and my paternal lineages, were shattered. We're completely shattered. And it felt light. It was like, oh, like, whoa, like that came off my back, that came off my shoulders. In several moments, it happened multiple times, but then there was just this big moment when we did this masculine activation, and it was just so deep for me. And that's when I was like, oh, like these collective experiences, like they are so powerful, especially being like in person, in the physical. Like these online virtual events are beautiful and they're powerful, and that being in person takes it to a whole nother level. And so I really encourage, like, even if there are people at this retreat, this business incubator, the frequency festival, that actually did not have a Healy. And so it's not like, yes, this tool has linked us together. This tool is the mycelium that is connecting us all, but it's so much greater than that. Like, it's so much greater than that. And I think that really anchored me further into what we're doing here, which kind of brings me up to my next point that I really wanted to share, was that one of the speakers, their talk title was Becoming the CEO of Your Life. Wow, like, that is powerful in itself, like being self-responsible, being self-reliant, and having the tools and the people to anchor you into that, to really cement that for you as your reality. And I think one of the things that really stood out to me about that talk, and why I'm wanting to bring it up now, is because I have been like living in this somewhat freedom lifestyle for a few years. Like, my family and I were full-time RVers. And that is an element of freedom. We're able to roam where we want, but there's still this missing piece for us. And that missing piece is that financial piece, right? And somebody mentioned on this call about like financial being really linked to our health, and like how truly to express ourselves and to optimize our vitality, that financial piece should be there. And for me, that's kind of like where I'm sitting at right now, and why I love this business model within Healy, is because I feel like the freedom kind of gypsy nomadic life that I'm living could be uplifted and expanded even further into like, not only like, because right now it's really like, you know, we make our decision based on what's in our bank account. So yeah, we can move where we want and go where we want, but it's still limiting. And I see what I see for myself, and back to this dreaming bigger, right? Like, we were given the opportunity to dream even bigger. So I have this dream, and then to dream even bigger is something really beautiful. And so, yeah, I see this for my family as I'm continuing to grow my team within Healy, is like, yeah, like, this is actually so attainable, to not like be restricted. I'm like, oh, like, this campsite is this money, this cost, and this campsite is this cost. We're like, no, like, that doesn't fucking matter. We're going to be where we want to be, when we want to be, because we can be. And that's the power of money. And that's why, for me, money isn't just this like paper or coin, like metal thing. Like, money is energy. And the way we are in our internal space, our internal terrain, is either going to repel money or magnetize money. And so that's one of the things that I have been playing with over the last few months, but that really came so clear to me at this retreat, was that the way I am thinking of myself, the way I love myself, is a reflection of how my finances are. And so I'm now wanting to really step into this space of the abundant mindset, yes, but also taking those actionable steps. And part of that for me is allowing myself to dream bigger, and to not hold on to this like scarcity mindset of, oh, okay, like, actually, I want to get this salmon meal, but maybe I should just get tilapia instead because it's $5 less. Things like that, that really living in the frequency of what you want for your life can be so powerful. And, you know, there's notes here that we had during this the wealth activation, that was like, money is service, money is love, money is truth, money is divine. And so when we can start relating to money on an energetic level, and not this like tangible thing that can like be taken from us, like, no, it is us, like, we are that. And so that was like really mind-blowing for me to think of it in that way, because I think it's been like a year in the making of really shifting my relationship to money. And like, no, like, I want a luxurious life, and there's no shame in that. You know, there's no shame in wealth. Like, people have this like ick, cringe, like money when they're talking about money. So to re-envision what money means to you, and to re-envision what energy that holds. And I think of money as like this feminine goddess, because like everything that is correlated to money is like this water essence. So, you know, like liquid assets, like these things that are associated with money, very feminine. And so when I think about it, that I'm like, ooh, like, money is actually sexy. Like, I want, you know, like, I want to live in this life, in this frequency where money is not ick. Like, money is beautiful and powerful. And for me, the money element is not opening myself up to like, oh, like a lot of these material things, which is fine. Like, totally go get your Gucci bag, like whatever you need. But for me, like, money also equals experiences and connections for my family and my future children to be able to experience, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here for my family. I'm here for connection. I'm here for community. And if money can help amplify that, like, yes, come bring it in. And I think that's just like, it's a huge, but yet so small piece of what we've been doing this past week. And just shifting our relationship to everything, right? Like shifting our relationship to the business model, shifting our relationship to everything in between. And so I think that's like the ultimate thing that I have taken away. But there is one more thing. And Inu, you mentioned this too about like your pillars. And I want to speak to my pillars because it's so deeply supported by this Healy business, and it's so incredible. And my number one pillar is family connection. And like she mentioned, we're homeschoolers, we're unschoolers, world schoolers, whatever you want to say. And part of that and bringing that to life and my true vision and my even bigger vision of what I want to be able to give to my children is needed and needs to be founded in that financial piece. And so my one pillar is family connection. And this business model really supports that. And even like the fact that there was babies and crying and toddlers running around throughout the retreat. And it was like, fine, it's like all beautiful. And I think back to my old career and I'm like, that wouldn't have blown. Like that would, people would be like, no, take your shit out of here. Like, get out of here. But in this space, it was like, oh, the babies, like, oh, the moms, like moms go first, feed yourself. Like we were doing collective community meals and anybody with a child or mothers would go first. Like this is the type of paradigm that I am in and that I've been calling in and want everybody to experience. And that pillar of family connection is so deep because not only in this business model are we talking about residual income, but in that we are not trading our time for money. And so a lot of these, companies and businesses that have been existing for a long time, you're trading your time for money. And what we are able to do here is not do that and is to basically just trade whatever energy we're wanting to give at that moment in time and reciprocate back. And that reciprocation is sometimes money, sometimes that is collaboration, sometimes that is creation. And it's just something that I really enjoy about the Healy business, that it's supporting my vision of what I want my family to be like. And then health freedom, like health freedom is priceless. We all know what's been happening the last few years that's made it really obvious that our health can be controlled or we can be sovereign in our health. And this little tool and this spaceship looking tool are all tools to be able to become self-reliant in our health. And as a holistic health practitioner, that is priceless for me. To be able to come to one little device and support myself energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, is just something beyond, like, I can't even fathom it sometimes. Like I met Marcus Schmeke, I met Nuno Nina in Florida a few months ago, and Marcus Schmeke, the creator, the founder, the philosopher, the scientist, the physicist behind this device, understood how important it was for us to have this in our homes, because there's been frequency devices around for decades and decades. They've usually been these massive ass machines that you can only access through a physician or through a clinic or a hospital. And he's like, no, bullshit. Like we need this for the people. We need this in their hands. And I think that's just so beautiful. So my pillars of family connection and health freedom are just so anchored in this Healy business. And I'm eternally grateful for that and for all of you. And, as we're talking about Healy, if you're like new to this, if you're watching this on a replay and you're like, oh, like, how can I learn more? How can I get my hands on one myself? How can I bring it into my family and utilize this? Make sure that you are reaching out to the person who invited you or whoever sent you the Zoom link, or whoever, maybe it's from Instagram, you like found the link there. Just go back to that original person that you found that from, so that they can share their resources with you. They can share their referral links with you, and all the information that you might need to actually come into this frequency with us, because we want you there. And I want to open up the space. We have like a few more minutes. If anybody wants to type questions in the chat, we can answer those. If you want to unmute yourself and ask your question or share anything, we would love to hear from you. Or if any of you ladies have anything else you want to share, open to that also.
I want to throw my brother Gabrielle into the ring. My love, do you want to come off mute? I want to reintroduce myself. Hey, and welcome you, and of course everyone in the space and everyone watching the replay. But just if you want to share, just 2 minutes, anything that's landed, anything that's here. Gabrielle is one of my nearest and dearest. holding down the vision in Mexico. And one of these, Simone, one of these big bulky light machines you were talking about, this man has been working this technology for almost a decade. So yeah, we're building the OG blueprint, the original blueprint together. And yeah, I shut up. Gabrielle, hi my love.
Hey everybody, thank you so much, Ori. Thank you everybody for sharing so beautiful statements, insights. Felt every bit of them. Feel like we are all fragments of the same. I mean, we are all one consciousness, but there are these clusters where you start remembering and feeling it. That, which was what I felt when Unia was talking about getting into this room, and it's like, oh, I'm here, and my tribe is here, and it's such a wonderful feeling to be part of that. Well, thank you, Ori, for the invite and for the little space here. So yeah, I'm Gabriel. I'm from Mexico City. I don't live there anymore. I fled the city like 10, 12 years ago to search beyond on this calling, which has been most part of my life has been on this calling. Like I, from very early age, just knew that there was, you were asking about knowing there was more. I knew it, I felt it, and I just didn't bite the bait of following up a career and a big successful lifestyle very early on, like my peers were doing, because I just felt it wasn't about that at that time. No, it was more about spiritual wealth and creating a foundation from an integral version of my current incarnation. Since I feel like many of us could relate, we've been on this shedding skins in this lifetime and in many others, and a lot of these skins were dense skins, you know, maybe like dark shadow skins, which are also part of the whole, and I love and embrace all of these parts, but they were heavy at some point. So my calling was a lot of that, like go deep into that shadow and then cleanse it and enlighten for you to be ready when the other calling comes, which is share about that and help others do that. So that was like for a while my inner calling, you know, to cleanse myself, to purify my vessel, to whatever you want to call it, scale the karma, just put me back into my source spot. And at some point that started cleaning out, and then I got the new calling, which was which was frequency and energy medicine. You know, so like 10 years ago, I just started developing more sense of self-care and self-healing understanding. And at first I was very in the opposite, like you don't ever need anything external, it's all within, and I won't ever need like crutches and stuff. And maybe it's true, but we need to bridge it, otherwise we just want to fly too high, and it's maybe not even authentic sometimes. And most people are on this stage of processing from one stage to another, from solid matter to ethereal consciousness. So part of the service we're doing is helping these steps come through, you know, helping all of these languages come forward, helping this knowledge of frequencies be more attainable. So I did go into the frequency medicine industry from light therapy, but specifically from tachyon therapy, which is sometimes even way more complicated to understand, but it's as simple as that. Tachyons is the way that science are calling prana or chi. You know, is these particles of, for me, tachyons, prana, chi is like the interface between matter and spirit. So this frequency, this device that I have uses light, healing codes, and a tachyonized crystal to create fields of coherent light that strengthens your toroidal field and allows the central channel to beam up, down, and forward all of these energetic upgrades that we're receiving. A little bit like this does, you know, in a different sense. So yeah, I've been for quite a while just fascinated by this, just fascinated about all of this hidden interface of the spirit in our bodies. And yeah, Healy is now what is now happening. Oh, Asenya, yeah. Tell me, you want to share something? I can't hear it.
Yeah, I just wanted to share next after you, Gabriel, but that is so cool what you've been sharing about. I love it. The light therapy and
yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been beautiful because this brought me into knowing all of these devices are just extrapolations of our own technology. So we are just remembering what we do naturally from something outside that slowly is becoming more embedded. So the technology itself is the heart. You know, the heart is the quantum pulse technology, and this is the biggest takeaway I have from all of these years of researching, and it could be so complicated and all that. It just boils down to living from the heart, living from coherence, living from that pulse that the earth, that the sun, that the universe is doing, and just follow through. And that's it. We are on the path of reclaiming back the original footprint. Thank you, Ori, for sharing this space, and thank you everybody also for all their passion and commitment to this path.
Thank you, Ori, for bringing such a beautiful being here at our call to share. And yeah, it's really incredible that there's so many people within Healy that I haven't even connected with, like you, Gabriel. And it's like, like all these extraordinary people. It's just so beautiful. Azania, did you want to say something else? Dustin wants to share something about his takeaways, but I want you to be able to speak if you had something that you want to say first.
Sure. And yeah, thank you, Gabriel, for sharing your voice in this space. Well, it's more of a practical thing just for people who are on this timeline and hearing this right now. What I wanted to share is that we have an exceptional offer from the head office right now until July 4th of 60% off. And it's a summer sale. It's launching a new community. So it's for the Americas, Canada, USA, and Mexico. Mexico just recently opened. Canada is less than a year old. And so it's a really special time if you are feeling the yes to have your own personal frequency device, that it is on a special sale. So I just wanted to throw that into the mix.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. It's really important. I feel you want to share now? No? Yes? No. Okay. He was saying he wanted to share before, but yes, this
Yes, I want to share, Mom.
okay, you want to tell everybody what you like best about Portugal? Do you remember when you were doing your chanting? Yeah, how did that make you feel?
First,
What?
sad,
Really? What? Why?
because I miss Rufus.
Oh, you miss Rufus, our dog. Oh, I love it. Yes. Yeah, I know. I miss Rufus too. I know, baby. We'll be home tomorrow. We leave Portugal tomorrow. So we've been in this vortex for I think 10 days. And we're almost done. Uh-oh. Let's see, some toes on the screen. Where'd you guys go? Okay. And yeah, and that's also something beautiful, like this right here, like this little wiggle worm. This prime live example of how supportive this business model is. I can have a little baby who should be sleeping right now here with me. So I'm gonna go on mute, and if somebody wants to close us out, Oriana, I think you can close us out while he wiggles. Look, there's TT. I'm gonna mute myself now.
Can I jump in just really quick? So I am Destin's TT. My name is Altrice Gopi. And I would say that I'm definitely newish to this space. So obviously my sister, so I know a lot about the Healy and the Healy community. And I definitely think that it's beautiful, the community that you guys all have. One thing that I would like to, I guess, challenge this audience is like, you guys have a great community of people who are 100% bought in, that want to get in, but for people, hi Destin, for people who have really not understood like the Healy or the Healy principles, like let's say corporate America, because I work in corporate America. And so coming from a company like Microsoft and thinking about people who might not necessarily have that same mindset as it relates to the Healy, when you guys think about talking to people in those environments, shifting how you guys are communicating it to like just like dosages, like small doses for people. I think that that would be something that would really help just explode the Healy in corporate environments, to where you might have people like my sister who's like, I'm a nomad and I'm traveling and we're homeschooling and we're doing this. And then you might have someone like me that I'm like, you cannot pay me enough to homeschool somebody. And I will be fully transparent. And I have 2 children myself, and then 2 bonus children. But when you think about other people and their paradigms, like giving them smaller dosages to really expand that Healy reach into some of these other corporate environments, that will have a lot of benefits of leveraging and using the Healy, but just giving them like smaller dosages of that information until they've started to buy on and they've started to understand and they see what that benefit is of the Healy. But if you put too much on, people are immediately gonna like think about I'm just thinking about my peers and people in the corporate environment. And my sister has done a great job of pulling me in and not doing that, and kind of giving me, I'm trying to think of the way that Simone has articulated it, like, hey, do you want me to give you some more information? Or I have this information, but like, what is it that you see is most beneficial that you want to have? So just top of mind as you guys are just expanding Healy within your community of everyone that's 100% bought in, but then thinking long-term of like, how do we expand Healy to like other areas in corporate environments where people might not be just 100% ready to get in there.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for bringing that point forward, because I think that especially within, I don't want to say like the spiritual community, but because this is a device that the founder Marcus Schmieke holds such a high vision for humanity, and he wants Healy in 1 billion homes. So that even from at a corporate level, our founder and our inventor holds this huge vision. So there is a trajectory for this to become mainstream, to become a household item. And it is our job, and thank you so much for articulating it and kind of bringing it back into matter, because we're working with the unseen, and that is the part that we still need to bridge in people's awareness, I find. So that's definitely something to consider. And I feel like a big piece of it is just education and awareness, and coming back to physics, coming back to our being, human being. That's what we are. We are 1/10 physical being and 9/10 etheric bodies. Our emotional body and our mental body and all of the others, they live in this quantum unseen, unmanifest. So I think, and this is something that I'll definitely continue to circle back on. Yeah, it's not exclusive. It's relevant to everyone.
Oh yeah, it's definitely relevant to everyone, and the opportunity is definitely there. And I guess the market skies is just definitely there, that you guys can definitely use. And then a lot of corporate companies that at least in tech space are going to have programs to where like you can get reimbursements for things that are for health and healing, but 80% of people don't even know what it is. Like, people don't even know that we have that at our disposal, to where, hey, you can get reimbursed for health and lifestyle cycle things and like gym equipment and this and that. Like, people really don't know. So it's really getting that information out to people, speaking to people, and then just meeting people where they are. Meeting people where they are is, I guess, the best way to describe it.
Yes, thank you.
But thank you.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, and I think what landed for me, what really landed for me when you were talking about that too is just like there's so many resources that are like literally what you're saying that I personally haven't been like using to my disposal. So like there are so many, like corporate has put out so many resources that are like just the science, right? Like just the science behind Healy. So it talks about the biophysics and like what, you know, kind of breaking down the science and how this tool even works. That I probably don't use enough. And so like, yeah, you put me in this mindset too of like, there are people who will hear some of the like woo-woo jargon and be like, oh, like, ooh, I don't know. But then when you say, oh, like the biology and the, you know, like the physics, there's some people who will resonate more with that. And there's an abundance of peer-reviewed research studies that are solely physics, that are solely biology, that I have like, you know, in my Google Drive folder that I could start to share with people. And then also just like I said, those fundamental videos that are on YouTube that can really illuminate like the matter side of that people might be able to catch on to. So yeah, thank you for saying that.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you for bringing this in, and it's good, you know, it's good to hear that. And I also feel like we always need different perspectives of articulating and talking about this device, you know. So we have very, very different angles, and as Simone just mentioned, there are so many resources. So I am in this world since 3 months, and I still haven't like gone into all these things. So yeah, definitely some research to do there.
Thank you everyone for sharing your voice today and in this way. And we were just so excited to come together as a new community, as we were strangers just last week, and now we are connected with a similar and shared connection in wanting to raise the frequency of ourselves and our communities, and share our excitement from this really empowering retreat that we all experienced. And there's so much more to share. So please get back to whoever invited you here, and we'll continue the conversation. Many blessings.
Wow.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, everybody. Good luck.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.